What can hurtle automobiles through the air, rip ordinary homes to shreds, defeather chickens, and travel at speeds of over 60 miles per hour? Did you know that Illinois rests on the boundary of what tornado researchers call Tornado Alley? This is the area of the country that receives the most tornadoes each year. In fact, according to a 1995 brochure distributed by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Illinois receives on average of 27 tornadoes per year. Also, nearly 5 people die each year in Illinois as a result of tornadoes. In addition, according to Tornado Project Online, a website hosted by a company that gathers information for tornado researchers, the deadliest tornado in U.S. recorded history occurred in Murfreesboro, Illinois. In 1925, a violent tornado ripped through this southern Illinois town, killing 234 people. Now, I've been interested in this weather phenomenon for a very long time. In fact, I'm a trained weather spotter for the Bloomington Normal Civil Defense Agency. In order to better understand tornadoes, it is important to explore what causes tornadoes to develop, how researchers classify the different types of tornadoes, and the odd occurrences associated with tornadoes. So, let us crash through the causes of tornadoes, twist around the types of tornadoes, and blow through some of the oddities associated with tornadoes. According to the USA Today Tornado Information website, a tornado is a violently rotating column of air in contact with the ground and pendant from a thunderstorm. Therefore, thunderstorms are the first step in the creation of a tornado. The USA Today Tornado Information site also indicates that there are 3 key conditions for thunderstorms to form. First, moisture in the lower to mid levels of the atmosphere. Second, unstable air, that is air that will continue to rise once it begins rising from the near ground. The final condition for the formation of tornado-producing thunderstorms is a lifting force. A lifting force is a mechanism that causes the air to begin rising. The most common lifting force is the heating of the air, which is why we have so many thunderstorms in the spring as air begins to warm. The same source indicates that the strongest thunderstorms typically form in warm, humid air that is east or south of advancing cold air. I mentioned in the introduction that Illinois sees its fair share of tornadoes. The following graph, adapted from a USA Today Tornado Information website, illustrates the areas in the United States that receive the greatest number of tornadoes. Tornado Alley. Thunderstorm-producing tornadoes are likely to form in this area as cold air from the west and north clashes violently with warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. Now that we have crashed through the causes of tornadoes, let us twist around the types of tornadoes. According to renowned weather historian Dr. David Ludlam, author of the 1997 edition of the National Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Weather, tornado researchers use a scale known as the Fujita-Pearson Tornado Intensity Scale, named after its creators, to rate the intensity of tornadoes. The following are tornado statistics from NOAA, cited above. Weak tornadoes account for 69% of all tornadoes, yet winds are less than 110 miles per hour. Strong tornadoes account for 29% of all tornadoes, winds ranging from 110 to 205 miles per hour. And violent tornadoes, representing only 2% of all tornadoes, yet winds exceed 205 miles per hour. According to Tornado Project Online, although violent tornadoes account for only 2% of all tornadoes, they are responsible for 67% of all deaths associated with tornadoes. In addition, astrogeophysicist Dr. Robert Davies Jones notes in a 1995 edition of the Scientific American that most tornadoes have damage paths 150 feet wide, move at 30 miles per hour, and last only a few minutes. However, extremely violent tornadoes, like the one that ripped through Murfreesboro, Illinois, may be over 1 mile wide, travel at 60 miles per hour, and may stay on the ground for more than 1 full hour. Now that we have a better understanding of the causes and types of tornadoes, let us blow through some of the oddities associated with tornadoes. Stories of strange events are typical in the wake of the damage caused by tornadoes. In fact, much of what makes stories of tornadoes unusual is irony. Consider the following story from the 1996 Weather Guide calendar. A Kansas man, apparently thinking that his trailer would be destroyed by an oncoming tornado, ran for shelter in a nearby building. The tornado destroyed that building, killing the man, while the trailer survived just fine. As noted by Tornado Project Online, the Great Bend, Kansas tornado of 1915 is a tornado which seems to have the greatest number of oddities associated with it. At Grant Jones's store, the south wall was blown down and scattered, but shelves of canned goods that stood against the wall were not moved. The Riverside Steam Laundry, built of stone and cement block, was completely destroyed, yet 2 nearby wooden shacks were untouched. A canceled check from Great Bend was found 1 mile outside of Palmyra, Nebraska, 305 miles to the northeast. This is the longest known distance debris has ever been carried. Tornado Project Online also reports that the plucked chicken remains today as the most talked about tornado oddity. Indeed, this oddity has been associated with many Illinois tornadoes. Within the damage descriptions of rural tornadoes, there are often stories of chickens stripped clean of every feather. It has long been thought that the feathers explode off the bird with the low pressures of tornadoes. The most likely explanation for the defeathering of chickens is the protective response called flight molt. As noted by Tornado Project Online, chickens are not stripped clean, but they are actually losing a large percentage of the feathers under stress in the flight molt process. In short, when the chickens become scared, their feathers become loose and are simply blown off. Let us summarize. In this speech, I have explored the key factors which cause tornadoes to develop, how researchers classify the different types of tornadoes, and odd occurrences that may be associated with tornadoes. So, if you ever see a Ferrari flying through the air, or your dorm room being dismantled floor by floor, or a chicken without wings, take cover. Tornado season is here.